Fuck. Whew. Okay, that's the first set of legs done on leg extensions here. 10 reps supposed to be done. I think I did 13 or 14. It was a little bit lighter, but doesn't matter. We got to absolute failure. And the second set, we'll do 10 reps, and we'll rest for 10 seconds, and punch out another 10. Okay, so we've done our 3 sets there on leg extensions. As I mentioned before, we want to stick to isolating these areas as much as possible while our glycogen stores are low, because we want to make sure that we're still getting that connection, that pump and contraction throughout the areas that we're working. So I'm going to move on to another quad exercise now while the blood's in there, which will be a compound, but we'll focus predominantly on the quads as opposed to the hamstrings. So now what we're doing is a squat machine here. You can use a conventional squat. I find this a little bit easier on my back. Last time I did this, I was facing the machine. I could go a little bit heavier because that was bringing in the glutes and quads, glutes and hamstrings as well as the quads. This time, when I face away, because the plate is kind of angled as such, much like on a hack squat, I find it hits a little bit more the quads, especially with my feet a little bit closer, so I'll be going a lot lighter than I would if I was facing the other way. Natural for these leg workouts to get harder as we go along now, with less energy surplus. It's good. You should kind of revel in the fact that you're becoming lethargic, because it kind of tells me that I'm just using fat as a fuel source now, which isn't a very good fuel source. You know, so if you're feeling lethargic, you're feeling tired, you're suffering, you're on the right track, man. So we've done our 3 sets there. Once I'd done the first load of 10 reps, it took me more than a 10-second count just to strip the weight. Stripped the weight and did 20, and then did another 10. But that felt like it was perfect to isolate the quads there. So now we're going to shift onto the hamstrings, hit an isolation exercise. Okay, lying hamstring curl is that we're going on to next. This is one of my favorites. When you're performing this exercise, try to think of it as a bicep. That's what I do. I think of like the muscle fibers pulling up and pulling and extending down. Pulling and then extending down. Much like the bicep. So when I come up, I try to squeeze and think of getting that peak. It's so easy for you to bring in your flexors by pushing your quads against the pad, which kind of takes away from the isolation of the hamstring and the purpose of it. Maybe you have to go a little bit lighter just to work on that peak, stretch and contraction. Man, that felt good. Got 11 reps out of there, and that's the first time that I've done the stack on this since we started. So it goes to show, not losing muscle. You know, we're trying to maintain it, but the focus is always to try to grow it. We finished off there perfect. Just when I did the extra 10 at the end, I think I did 15 or 16 because it was just a little bit light, or that rest period was too long, but it doesn't matter when we reach failure there. So hamstrings feel really, really isolated and obliterated now. So let's move on to another predominantly focused hamstring movement. So this is the first set on this parallel leg press. The predominant focus is on the hamstrings here because I've got my feet at the top of the plate, heels dug right in, putting no pressure through the balls or the toes of my feet. but I feel I did go just a little bit too heavy there on the first set. I reached failure, like 6 reps, and then I had to rest pause, but at least we got the 10 repetitions out. I'm not gonna bother getting up to stretch after this set now because I'm too fucked to stand up. So punch that out with a lot of intensity. When I do the final set of the extra 10, you'll notice that quite often I go over the 10 at the end after the 20-second rest, because the legs are made up of a lot of type 1 muscle fibers as well. So they're the endurance kind that tap in, you know. So when we've got a good split decision of type 1 and type 2 muscle fibers, you'll find that you're able to prolong your reps a little bit further, which is a natural occurrence. You just keep going until you can't do another one. So we're finished the leg workout now. God, what was that? Less than an hour, wasn't it? And so that's it. So now I'm going to have my post-workout shake. So remember, in this post-workout shake, it acts like a pre-cardio shake as well. So, you know, not only will you have your anti-catabolic ingredients, such as, you know, your protein powder and your glutamine and your branched chain amino acids, you'll also have your fat burners in a way of things like your carnitine and your green tea. You know, we want to make sure that any fat that, you know, we're utilizing goes within the mitochondria and gets utilized as energy. So carnitine is a perfect antidote for that. And so get it in the pure kind from the Carnipure. It's the purest form. All right, so that's it for today. So tomorrow you'll be coming back and we'll be finishing off the week strong with, what have we got, chest, and then later on in the evening we'll be hitting calves and abs again. And it's going to be a tough one because you've got to earn your weekend off. So we've got to make sure that we come in and obliterate it, and remember, next week is our last week. I keep saying that, I keep driving that home because it is. We don't have much time left, so you know, we've only got one more leg workout now. After tomorrow we'll only have one more chest workout, so you know, think of that sense of urgency every time that doubt starts to raise its ugly head, weakness starts to come in, turn that into a weapon. All right, so let's get it done. Go get our cardio in. Remember, you've got 45 minutes today. You increase your training day by 5 minutes, so 45 today. Get your meals in, stay hydrated, prepare your food for tomorrow, and you've got 45 this evening.